All right, today we're going to do a rather short video. I'm going to continue on my buddies, the bar members. We're going to talk about bar grievances here. Bar grievances and judicial complaints. Now, up on the site, there's a document section, and there's 3 folders in there. I'm going to put the 4th folder in there soon. The 4th folder for the copy of the state judicial canons. We'll get into what they are in a second. But if everyone can do me a favor, it's real simple. I'd love to get these 4 documents for every state. Basically, so for all 50 states, get all these. And same thing with my members. We have a lot of people from different countries on the site and in the Telegram group. So if you can find your equivalents of these, by all means, send them to me and I'll put them up right away. But we want to get looking for basically your state bar grievance forms. Each state should have one. They have their own forms. And you also want to find a copy of the rules of professional conduct, because that's what the attorneys have to follow. And in Pennsylvania, I think it starts in like Section 3. It's probably pretty similar with most states. You're probably going to find around Section 3. They're going to start talking about rules of conduct of the attorneys. And also like to get the state judicial complaint form, because that's what we're going to file against the judges. And also, judges, they go by what's called judicial canons, and each state has their own version of the judicial canons. I'm sure they're all very similar, but I need a copy of that, and they might be a little harder to get. You might not find a PDF document that's downloadable, so what you might have to do is just do a Control-A, copy the entire page, and then a Control-C on like in Word or something, and save it as a PDF. So that because on the site everything's got to be uploaded for safety reasons as a PDF. So yeah, please check the document section. Look in there. Some states we have. Pennsylvania, I think we have. California, we might have. But there's a lot of states we're missing. So if people could start sending me the PDF documents of this and make a PDF document of this so that I can upload it, that'd be great. Now, reason we want to file bar grievances is, listen, think about the bar grievance. People go, well, why are you going to file bar grievance? They're not going to do anything with that. You're absolutely right. When I file my bar grievance, they're going to take my bar grievance, they're going to tear it up into little pieces, and they're going to throw it in a trash basket. And I'm going to get a nice letter from them saying, hey, Mr. Fagiola, your claims are frivolous, or there's no merit to your claims. Great. Okay, appreciate that. But here's who's not going to ignore that bar grievance, his indemnity insurer, the attorney's indemnity insurer. So what's going to happen is the insurance company's going to take note of that. And because generally, a lot of times, what will happen is when people start filing bar grievances, lawsuits generally follow, and the insurance company knows that. So I'm told by Randy Kelton, who basically initiated this process, if you're a first-year attorney and you get a bar grievance filed against you, I believe you lose your insurance. And if you lose your insurance, you can't be an attorney no more. And I think if you're an experienced attorney and you get 2 bar grievances filed against you in 1 year, you lose your insurance and you can't be an attorney no more. And if you're a law firm and you have 3 bar grievances filed against you, you lose your insurance and your law firm doesn't have insurance now. So these are powerful things. I mean, listen, everything coming at you that's being done to you is being done through the bar. Don't kid yourself. Yeah, your local politicians or your local bureaucrats, these are the guys that are sending you the papers. Don't kid yourself. The bar's behind everything they've done, everything written in that document, and everything they're doing. The bar's pulling all the strings on this thing. So if these people want to make your life a living hell, we're going to return the favor to them. So we're going to get them to a point where we're going to walk them through this process where they're going to be worried more about their own rear end than they are worried about you. Because now they're going to be worried about keeping their job and their insurance. So we want to basically, at any time you have a dealing with an attorney, file a bar grievance against them. I'm going to tell you everything you receive in the mail from an attorney, and we're going to go through the details of different things, but I'm going to tell you it's mail fraud and there's crimes being committed in there, and it's worthy of a bar grievance. So file a bar grievance against every attorney you're dealing with. And we'll explain why they have, because an attorney involved in any matter, they never have jurisdiction over you. They never have legal standing in a matter. And legal standing means basically that they've been damaged or injured in some way by you. Because if you're not damaged or injured, you don't have standing in a case. And they never have personal knowledge of a matter, the attorney. It's all secondhand. He's doing something for somebody else. Or worse yet, He's doing something for a corporate fiction. He's up there claiming to speak for the borough of, or the township of, or the county of, and that's fraud. It's forgery. So bar grieving often. Same thing with the judge. If you get a judge out of line, file judicial complaints against them. And for the bar grievance, you're going to basically reference the rules of professional conduct. You could cite the codes in there, because that's what they're bound to. That's what they're supposed to be following. And same thing, when you file the judicial complaint against the judge, you're going to follow the canons, what the canons look like. And like I said, they're all pretty similar. There's roughly 6 or 7 canons per state. Some might have more. But just you want to reference the canons when you file those complaints. And these attorneys and these judges, listen, this is really what they're operating in. And if you watch the earlier videos, you're getting to know that these are not common law courts. These are not courts of record. These are administrative courts. These are commercial courts. So what I do is I'm going to serve the attorney and the judge an affidavit of status, so that there's no dispute of who I am or where my rights come from or what my rights are. I'm going to serve an affidavit of facts, and I'm going to point out every flaw within this case, from the point that the plaintiff is a fiction, doesn't exist, and that the attorney that filed this committed fraud and forgery. And so I'm going to point out every inconsistency and flaw in the case, which are many, many, many. And I'm also going to file a notice of claim. And with that notice of claim, I'm going to file. It's going to have a financial component to it. So if somebody's messing with my home, my property, I file for the full value. If my home's valued at $300,000, I'm going to file for $300,000. Because you shouldn't be messing around with property that you don't own. And if somebody's messing around with property that they don't own, such as the attorney and the judge, well, that's a scheme. That's a color of law scheme. It's an extortion scheme. They're trying to extort money from you. And if you want to try and extort money from me and steal my property, I don't care if you're stealing it a little bit at a time, you're trying to steal my property. If you're going to try and steal my property, first of all, you're administering my property with no rights, because these people, neither the attorney or the judge, they have no rights in your property. They have no rights over you. Like I said, your property is your body, your information, your genetic material, and all that you own and claim is your exclusive property. It's not their property. So if these people are messing around in your affairs, your property, while they're trespassing and they're administering your property without right, and I go after them. Don't play defense with these people. This is the problem everyone's having, is they're playing defendant. Like I said, go look at what I stated about defendants. All a defendant is, it's their way of trying to lower your status from a man or woman down to under government, under them, so that they can state that they have jurisdiction over you. It's a ridiculous claim, all right? And you've got to challenge it, though. Don't go in there and play defendant. These affidavits, these are basically setting them up for you filing against them. That's the cherry on top, is you filing an actual claim against them. Now the hope is, from doing this paperwork, that you won't have to go to that route, because finally someone's going to realize, this guy or this girl, boy, they're pains in the asses. I'm going to let them go, leave them alone. That's your goal, is to be left alone. And when they start seeing your paperwork and they're seeing you're filing affidavits and they're certified and they got certified mail numbers in the documents, these are not things that the average man or woman does, and they know that. So they start seeing that, and the red flag goes up. They know this isn't the average monkey. This one's a little different. So that you get their attention. And you'll start to get their respect if you handle yourself properly. Now, a lot of these people are button pushers, and whether they act through ignorance, a lot of it's ignorance, they don't know what they're doing, or it's arrogance. A lot of them are just arrogant. They just think they own you and they can control you and do things to you. And that whole story falls apart when you start coming after them in their individual capacity, which means you come after them as the man or woman. Like when I file something against the attorney or the judge, I don't refer to him as attorney, or I don't refer to the other guy as the judge. I just go by John Smith or Joe Smith or Mary Smith, whatever their names are. All I know is I fell off a turnip truck yesterday. I came home. I got this stuff in my mail, and it's stating it came from this attorney, and he's making these claims against me. I don't know who he's claiming to speak for. I don't know anything. All I know is these claims are fraudulent and they're never going to hold up in a real court of law, because this guy, this attorney here guy, he's got no jurisdiction over me or my property. He's got no standing in any matter concerning me or my property. He's got no personal knowledge of anything regarding me or my property. So anything he files against me, anything he does against me, it's fraud. And it's criminal fraud. And great. So his Achilles heel is his indemnity insurance. Bang his indemnity insurance, and he may not be an attorney anymore. And he's definitely going to take attention of you. You start filing, when you file that bar grievance, that's going to set up the first red flag. And then when you submit your affidavits and your notice of claim with a financial component, that's going to set off the other red flag. And here's what they don't want you to know. When you file this notice of claim and you have a financial component added to it, now I read this from a guide who teaches attorneys about indemnity insurance, about how to handle their policies. Most all these policies that these pettifogger shyster attorneys have, when you file a claim against them, they've got to go to their indemnity insurer and tell them, hey, I could get sued. This guy filed a claim against me. If they don't do that and they're arrogant and you sue them, and you should, the insurance company could turn around and say to them, hey, we're not going to cover this. You had a duty. It's in your policy to let us know that this guy was going to sue you. My God, the guy's serving you affidavits and claims. He's telling you he's going to sue you. You didn't tell us. So that's his danger. But either way, he's got to let that insurance company know, his indemnity insurer, that there's a good chance he's going to get sued. Well, that also toys with his rates, because now you got a bar grievance against them, and now you've got an actual claim that can be brought in. I mean, these are real. These are not just paper claims. These can be enforced. You know, you bring us into a judicial process and you file a trespass and administering your property without right. You serve this guy an affidavit and he didn't respond, he didn't rebut, and he's over there toying with your property, messing around with your property. He's got problems. He's going to have major problems. And this is just the start of it. This is just one step in the process that I want to get across to people. Because next in the process, we're going to really up the ante, and we're going to make it an untenable situation for them, because we're going to start filing state and federal criminal complaints against them. I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're also going to file mail fraud complaints against them, because we want to get them out of their little cocoon. Because these local governments they're so used to operating in this little small cocoon, their own little ballpark, and they don't like outside eyes looking at what's going on. You know, because they can't control the outside, what's going, what the feds are going to do, or so you want to get outside eyes on them. So main thing, get used to following go read your rules of professional conduct. I think it's like Section 3 in Pennsylvania. I'm sure you're very similar, probably Section 3 of yours. And you want to file bar grievances against these attorneys. You want to knock the attorney out of the box right away. All right? They are so susceptible. What they don't want you to know is they are the Achilles heel in all this matter. And the first thing we're taught is when you get in trouble, first thing you do is run out and get an attorney. And then they also teach you only a fool has himself as a client. BS, okay? That's tripe that they put out there to scare you, to intimidate you. They are the weak link, the attorney. And when you stand on your word, and you do that by way of affidavit, Mr. Attorney is done. Because Mr. Attorney's never going to rebut your affidavit of status. He's never going to rebut your affidavit of facts. He's got a problem, Mr. Attorney, because he rebuts those. Now he takes on full liability. And it's so easy to prove that he has there's no basis in any rebuttal. And I've yet to see an attorney rebut an affidavit. I've seen an attorney respond with letters, like meaningless letters. That's not a rebuttal of an affidavit. The affidavit stands. I don't care if you wrote me a letter. I'm going to continue through my process. Mr. Attorney, you were responsible for providing me a rebuttal affidavit, a point-for-point rebuttal. You didn't do that. You gave me some dumb little response. I don't care about your response. I'm just going to keep moving through my process. So put the pressure on these people. These people want to control you, want to threaten you, want to make your life hell. You make their life hell. You take them for a journey, a ride that they're not going to believe by the time they're done with this. They're going to be more worried about saving their jobs than they're going to be worried about you. And it's funny when you start doing this to attorneys, and I've done it to the county attorneys, the borough attorneys. They stop talking to you. They don't want to communicate with you no more. You don't get no more letters from Mr. or Mrs. Attorney. They're a little afraid of you because, my God, you've got affidavits served against them, and they're in default, and you've got a notice of claim filed against them, and they know exactly what that means and that can be enforced, and they know that the peril that they face. So you want to back these people off you right away. So the main one you're going to come after, you want to get this guy. You want to get the attorney with the bar grievance form right off the bat. I get something in the mail from one of these pettifogger shyster attorneys, right away I'm going to file a mail fraud claim against them, and then I'm going to do a bar grievance against them. And then I'm going to walk them through the other process where I'm going to file my affidavit of status, my affidavit of facts, and my notice of claim where I'm going to need damages from Mr. Attorney over here because Mr. Attorney is trespassing and administering my property without right. Not only that, he's committing forgery. He's claiming to speak for fictional entities, corporate fictions that don't exist. That's fraud. And Mr. Attorney has no rights in my property whatsoever to be doing anything with my property or myself. So get used to doing this. This is a very powerful tool that has been underutilized, and there's really nice, great stories about this that people have used this and really put a ripple through the locals. It scares the hell out of them. But if you guys could really help get these forms to me, I'd love to get them up there and get all the states and even all the countries, whatever, get them for your country. If you're in Bulgaria, or if you're in Canada, you're in the UK, get them for your country, and I'll put them up there. But that's it. That's part 2, and we're going to move on from here, and we're going to start to have some fun because you're going to start to get control. You're not going to be intimidated by these people because when they do things to you, you're going to go, okay, I know what I'm going to move through my process. I don't care what they're doing. I'm just going to move them through my process. And let's see how they fare when you get to the end of your process. So take care. Don't let these people intimidate you. Don't let them get you down. Talk to you soon. Take care.